Welcome. It's the 15th of December, 2024. We're going to jump in. Today we're going to talk about drones. We're going to talk about all the normal updates, but have Google Earth kind of brought up here to kind of prime everybody. Remember all those drones that were being reported over northeastern Colorado that we still don't have much of an answer for? And today we're, again, talking about drones over New Jersey, coming out of the sea, out of the ocean. We're going to talk about that. First, let's jump in. Space weather, everything looks fairly nominal inside normal ranges. Nothing really to report. I keep saying we are in solar maximum. Like to pay attention to solar flares, hot spots, solar anything. But this is also a graph of all of the sunspots that we've tracked. I don't know how far back this goes, but looking at where we are now, that we're peaked out at 196, and in the 50s, let's see, 1957 highest monthly value 359. So we have seen much higher numbers. It's just, where are we in solar cycles? Where are we relative to how much the gravitational field has changed since this peaked out solar spot month? And where are the north and south poles today relative to where they were then? I would say they've moved a lot and they're speeding up. So worth focusing on solar activity for potential solar flips, for the 26,000 year cycles, the 12,000 year cycles, 6,000, 3,000, 1,500. All of everything's cyclical, and if you know how to read the tea leaves, you can kind of get a gauge of what's going on. These are large frame cycles, though, so putting into context one human day versus a 26,000 year cycle, it's a little hard to do sometimes. Jumping over to weather, looks like we have a big old front pushing through the east. I'm not a weather person. I'm not a meteorologist. I just like to look at this just to get a gauge for what's going on in the country. Let's see, looking at the Ring of Fire, looks like we have California earthquake 8 hours ago, 5.2. Volcanoes around the Ring of Fire, earthquakes around the Ring of Fire still popping off. Moving over to the flood gauges, because the sun impacts the weather impacts the flood gauges. We'll get to the next one, but it looks like where all of the heavy rain in the forecast, it looks like we have some orange gauges. Nothing in red, a lot of yellow, some orange. Nothing to dive too deeply into here today. Power outages. California is sitting at 55,000. Not much to talk about in the rest of the country. But space weather affects power. It affects the high voltage power lines that we haven't buried for some reason to protect, to harden our infrastructure. Maybe it's for harvesting purposes we don't do that. Maybe it's for efficiency purposes we have done that. Maybe we just didn't know what we were doing when we inherited the realm. Anyways, moving on to markets. I like to look at commodities, look at the gold first of all, still sitting above 2,600, down 33. Dollar, stable. Everything else in red, except for these three down here. Marine traffic, check on the health of global trade. Everything still looks at a service level like everything's flowing. Again, during COVID, you could see major breaks in the supply chain by looking at the marine traffic. Right now, looks okay. Looks okay. Moving on to cyber threats. In the last 24 hours, top attackers at 71% United States. Top attacked at 31% of all attacks United States. And the Checkpoint Live Cyber Threat Map, we're at 9 million threats total at this time today. This is pretty fairly steep drop off from where we were at the beginning of the month at about 16 million. Nothing peaked out, nothing super high. So, moving into kind of the Twitter space here, I wanted to play this video.
Here in zone 3, approximately 600 feet high.
So this was yesterday at Andrews Air Force Base, tower communicating with military and police helicopters about drone activity.
Tower muscle 2, actually it seems like three different drone size entities in zone 3.
3 different drones in zone 3. So all of this reminded me of all of the stuff going on with the drones in Colorado.
Do you have an aircraft hovering over Upper Marlboro?
Where local law enforcement was trying to figure it out. It sounds like the helicopter was behind the drones, couldn't keep up with them, potentially.
I'm asking about the traffic at 12 o'clock, 6 miles in your airspace, about 2,000 feet. Do you have it? Or 1,500 feet? Do you have it? Alright, well.
So this is Andrews.
We can see what it is.
This is also around the time of the...
kind of clarification. So the drones that we were seeing, so we had a few drones high, about 900 feet MSL, and then 2 drones low, maybe about 600 feet MSL. They were in zone 3, hovering around Route 2, right as you make the turn along the river.
So they're monitoring, they have things zoned out, and they're communicating interagency.
The one we saw was stationary, and as soon as we got within about a mile of it, it is accelerated and could not keep up.
So the drone sped up faster than a helicopter could go. It was stationary, and then it took off. So all of this, just reminded me of some things, some recent things, and also in the same span of time, I'm gonna zoom up here to the top, we had this. This is a modified Cessna that the Ukrainians used to attack an FSB post in Chechnya. And, you know, we're seeing videos like this. We're seeing videos of drones in New Jersey. People are being primed for drone wars, it seems like. Drone swarms, drone wars. This is a Cessna taking out an FSB base in Chechnya. It all just seems a little like we're being marched towards drone war, World War III. You know, asymmetrical warfare. If we're not already in World War III, you know, we're proxy wars set up for World War III at the moment, it seems like. But looking at, this is where the drones in Colorado were. And this is where DIA is, Denver International Airport. And down here, this is Buckley Space Force Base. So we have runways here, commercial runways here, and then down here we have the Colorado Air and Spaceport. So runways, and all of this region over here was where we have no idea where these drones are coming from. We're not willing to tell the public because either it's a psychological operation to prime people for drone operations so that they see them, they report them, the news media reports on them, it gets into the psyche. It seems like there's a connection with these locations out here and all of the drone sightings over here. It's also interesting because DIA, with the highways set up the way they are, you got Rocky Mountain Arsenal, you have Rocky Flats, where a whole lot of, you know, Department of Energy stuff is. You got Boulder over here, where the tech bros have stuff underground, potentially. And then even further down here, on the other end of this loop, right into the mountain, This is where there's Lockheed Martin. So all of this, the drones over here and the drones in New Jersey today, I believe are connected somehow. I can't prove it at the moment, but just thought it was interesting. More so, let's go look at Skyglass and see what is up in terms of military birds at the moment over America. I'm checking this out, moving it around. Not a whole lot. It's Sunday, midday. I'm not seeing anything that jumps off the page necessarily. Do a quick scan, quick highlight of the things that E6. Do we have any balloons? No trackable balloons that I can see. Refuelers and transports. And then all the NAs. The NAs with the, we don't want you to, we're okay with you knowing we're up here, but we don't want you knowing call signs or anything else about what's going on. So that's what it kind of what it looks like currently over the country. Okay. I've gone over by a minute and 15 seconds. I want to keep these 10 minutes, but thank you for joining me today. Add comments in the comments section if there's any information, any kind of deeper dives you want to go down. Definitely happy to do that. Thanks for joining me in the meta realm, collecting some data about the shared human construct that we have. I will probably be streaming once or twice in the next 2 or 3 days. Live streaming some non-meta realm constructs, some gaming constructs, talking about some decks that we developed, talking about some games that we're developing internally. But yeah, thanks for joining me today. Look forward to the next time.